Good morning, folks. Happy Makers Monday. Today we are going to be talking about how to set up your space for filming tutorials. So before maternity leave started, we were going gung-ho on the art tutorials, and it was really interesting and we learned a lot. I did an episode on how to what we did to set up the YouTube channel. So this one is going to be more equipment and things we've learned through troubleshooting. So this can be, so just to start out, this can be as fancy high tech as you want to go, or as super chill, just making some quick reels. So I'm going to kind of start with let's go bare basics, and then we can go what you might need if you want to go all out. So what you need is some sort of recording device. I use my iPhone for a lot of my quick reels and things like that. Works great. Honestly, one of the best hacks that you can do if you're filming artwork that's on a flat table is to just get a mug. I don't have one right here, but you can just kind of put your phone in here like that. And this is actually a pretty good angle to get what you're looking for. This is a remote control, but you get the idea. So yeah, it can have you talking through it, or it could just be the music in the background. So I would say if you're going to be doing something a little bit more elevated, you're going to want to sort out your audio to make sure it's not echoey and stuff like that. But if you're just doing some visual tutorials, awesome. You may want to, so if you're doing reels, you can use the music on the reels. If you don't have access to music, you can always narrate it over the clips. So you can kind of clip your things together and then do a narration over it. Or you can subscribe to something that helps you get access to royalty-free music. So I use, it's called Storyblock. Yes, Storyblock, so it's free, royalty-free music. It's got some good options. I'm probably going to look into getting a different one soon, but for now it's working. I would just like something that's a little bit more my vibe, less corporate jingle. Yeah. So, and then lighting. Lighting's going to be important. If you have access to natural light, that's going to be the best. But that's not always a reality when we're working out of our basements or whatever. So getting a good lighting situation is awesome. So I have this, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, this is kind of a mess, but this is a canvas light, and it is actually, I'm just going to bring it over here because it is the best thing. Oh, will you reach? Okay. Okay, so here it is. It's got this really heavy base, so it keeps it from tipping over. It's got this super flexible arm, but my favorite part about it is that it has this harness for your phone, and your phone actually can go so that you can see around this light. Put your phone in a way so you are actually seeing through this little hole. And then this light turns on, and it's got various degrees of intensity. So not only is this an awesome light for my painting, when I'm, trying to get good light in the evenings, it's also a phenomenal light for filming because it does that overhead filming in a way that is super low tech. So I know this one is pretty pricey, but if you are looking to up your game in your videography and wanting, especially now that there's this push for reels and video content, I would say this is a great investment. Yeah, it just is the best, most sturdy clamp that I've been able to find. In terms of filming these, I just have you in a cheapy one that holds here. It has a ring light attached to it. I don't use it because I've got pretty good lighting in here, and honestly, the little circle in my glasses drives me nuts. Okay, yeah, so so that's kind of the bare basics. You can always put it in a mug or coffee cup or something, and then if you want to take it up a notch, you can get the Canva light, which is great for overhead. So let's say you're wanting to do YouTube videos where you're going to want to have like a little bit more of an elevated quality to your painting or to your tutorials. So we ended up getting 2 DSLR cameras. I think you could probably get away with just one nice camera or even using just one iPhone. So I'm going to kind of walk you through some scenarios. So what we ended up doing was having one camera facing forward and one off to the side. That way, if I messed up, it was easy to cut between those two clips, and we didn't have to like I didn't have to state anything that I already had. We could just kind of like keep rolling, and it just kind of like cut down on the process a lot, which was on the time process a lot, which was great. So I had 2 cameras, one in front, one on the side. If you are better at remembering what to say, maybe you only need one. And then we would film the like directions, like this is what we're gonna do today, kind of face part. And then we would put the 2 cameras, we would have one from above. So I have a big rack that goes over my desk, and this helps hold the camera. There's like a special camera holder. We got this from B&H. Try to remember to link it. And then we have a tripod. Oh, so we have the tripod that holds the camera that's up this way. So we have a tripod that holds a camera kind of like over here. So it's on my non-dominant side. So it's on my left side because I'm right-handed, so that you can really see into the work that I'm doing on the page, the painting. So you get the top view to kind of get the overview, and you can see, sorry, that was my dog. You can see the palette, you can see me mixing my paints, and that's like a little bit more of like a full desk view. See how I'm mixing, like see how I'm cleaning off my brush, etc. And then the one off to the side is more details. So if I'm getting into the fine details, I will say something that's helpful with this, using a DSLR over a camera, is that it's not going to autofocus. So, or iPhone, sometimes the iPhone will autofocus trying to say, oh, hey, like, I see you're doing something over there, let's get it in focus. But sometimes it's not focusing on the paper like where I want it to. It'll just be like focusing on if my left hand is like resting in front of it or something. So that's something to consider as well. But it doesn't mean that it's not doable with your iPhone. I just, we wanted to make sure that we were getting like really, really high quality videos. And so that was something that we made a priority, but I don't think that it is like, should be a barrier of entry. The other point that you might need is a microphone. So we also attach the microphone to the filming space, or to the filming bar, so that you can hear really well. And we use the audio and sync everything up in Premiere Pro, which is my video editing software. We do have some lighting options, like some big lights to light the area, in addition to trying to film during natural lighting time and having it like, there's definitely a window, especially when we're here in Seattle area, where it is good to film and where it is definitely not. Like in the evenings, then we get the sunset too. In the summers, it can be pretty blinding. So we don't want to film when there's too much light. Yeah, so if you are in a space that's really echoey, you might need to soundproof a little bit. You can do this by like, see people putting egg cartons up. You can make like some cork boards and cover it with like cute fabric or whatever to kind of absorb the echo. There's lots of different options. We also do, I make scripts, so I kind of know what I'm going to say, for the most part. And we batch film. We try to batch film like 3 or 4 of the videos at a time so that we can kind of get it done for the whole month. I would say in theory, this is great. In practice, we haven't been following our own recipe for that. But that would probably be the best thing, because it is a lot to get it set up and ready to go. So some like notes on what to wear. Don't wear clothes that are too busy or clinky jewelry. You don't want to take the focus away from your artwork, or like if you're filming from that side angle, don't have like blousey sleeves or something that you could drag through your paint or whatever your craft is. Like, keep it kind of clean and simple so that people can focus on your craft. Make sure your desk looks clean. It's like, people don't want to be looking at your 3-day-old granola bar wrapper, like make sure that your space is presentable. Just even if it's still in your office, just push it off to the side. Nobody needs to know, right? I personally prefer to get a manicure if I can before, because I am like a notorious nail biter. So it helps if I have nail polish on because it just makes me feel a little bit polished. Obviously, this is like more of a vanity thing, so if you don't care, good for you. And then lastly, from my points that I'm wanting to share is if you are afraid of getting in front of the camera, that does not mean that you can't do tutorials. You do not have to do that front-facing opening. You could just do it over like have you talking over pictures or videos. You could just have it be the top-down version. There's no reason why you have to put yourself out there in a big way visually. But I do encourage you to do it because I think people really connect to the human behind the content. Yes, you're making this beautiful art or you're crafting these amazing things, but a big reason why people connect with you is because of the human who you are as well. I definitely have had my fair share of body image stuff. Like I was filming a lot of these tutorials when pretty pregnant, and so I look different than what I would maybe feel like I was in my prime or whatever. Like my hands are swollen. Like it's definitely not my cutest angle or whatever, and that was definitely hard to like rewatch over and over while I'm editing. But you know what? Like what I have to share is valuable and helpful, and that's what's most important. And if somebody's gonna be like, look at you and your weird puffy hands, then forget them, okay? You and your knowledge and what you have to share is much more valuable than any insecurities that you might be feeling. I mean, obviously your insecurities are valid, right? But like, try to push it aside. Try to take a brave stance because you deserve to be out in the world, and I know that there's a target audience ready to hear from you. So I also polled the audience to see what they had to say about filming. And so Kristen Murphy was asking, what products do people use for this? She loves the canvas phone holder, which is what I showed you. That's not in her budget right now. So again, you can be I have like literally used rubber bands and tape from like our chandelier over our dining room table. You can be as fancy or as like MacGyver-y as you want. I think the the quality of phones these days is so much better than like 10, even 5 years ago, that I really think that the barrier to entry does not have to be at a high cost. You might want to wait until it's like, oh, I've got all my perfect supplies, blah, 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 I can't start until I do this. And it's like, no, you're going to have hurdles and things that you need to like work through and polish. So you may as well do it when you haven't invested in the expensive equipment to make sure that this is something that you actually enjoy doing. So I say just go for it. And then let's see, Susan from Suno Henna says, work with what you have, clean your space. Totally agree. We small business owners can be very creative, right? find creative solutions. Okay, so we have Nicole asking, I need equipment suggestions, technical help on how people do live demonstration style video calls. Ooh, like how can I see your face and what you're painting at the same time? This is a great question. That is something I would love to figure out, and I do not know. I know people do it on Twitch. Twitch? Yeah, is that what it's called? Like the video game thing, right? That is far fancier than I have information to. So Nicole, I will work on that. I will look into that definitely for the future, because I think live online classes would be super cool and super fun and like a really great way to expand your reach even when we are not able to physically be close. So even though like live workshops and stuff are back in action, That's not to say that we couldn't do workshops in other states and open access to more people, because we know the technology works for that. So that's a great question. And I don't, she says, this shouldn't be so difficult for my brain to figure out. And it's like, no, I mean, it is. Like, there's a lot of moving pieces. I would imagine you would need definitely 2 cameras. So one for the overhead, one for at you. I think you could do this through Zoom if you just have 2 computers set up. And then maybe one is like an external webcam situation, but you definitely want to have good lighting. I know Sarah Simon from the Mint Gardener has done a lot of these live workshops where she's doing, where she has like the 2 angles. So I don't know if she's shared her resources or not about that, but you could certainly look at her setup. She's got a pretty cool, like, compact, it almost looks like those overhead boards that teachers used to use, with the plastic. I like very much aging myself right now with the plastic sheet, and they would take markers over it. It's like almost like a little cart that she has that has her workspace for that. So that's pretty cool. And then we have Delon saying, I use a phone mount, switching to a sturdier one soon. Yeah, so that is one thing. Like, if you're using some sort of phone mount, make sure it's sturdy or connected to like a sturdy table. I definitely have like gesticulated and bumped my phone and stuff and wiggled the heck out of you guys while you're watching, but like it's connected to my desk. It's not anything super fancy, but it is pretty sturdy. If like the wire that's holding it up isn't great, you can always like prop it up on some books too to give it some extra support. Get creative. It doesn't need to be the most expensive thing. So yeah, those would be my quick tips. I would say definitely using Premiere Pro and digging into that would be, because you probably already have Adobe Creative Suite. So, and iMovie just does not have the same kind of capability. Like with Adobe, you can actually have 2 videos going at once. So I could have my face and it's not live, but I could have my face and my workstation at the same time. I probably wouldn't, because I think I make weird faces when I paint, but that's just me. I think Premiere Pro, there's so many tutorials out there. I don't think I'd ever worked with it before. I had done Final Cut Pro like loosely in high school and played around a lot with iMovie. So I but that was, like 15 years ago. So it's been a long time. So I mean, if I can figure it out, you can figure it out for sure. So yeah, happy filming, you guys. If you watched this video and got some tips, I would love it if you would tag me in your next video so I could see it and cheer you on. So if you want more tips and tricks like this, join my BizBuds newsletter. You'll be getting a weekly newsletter digest with all the videos, all the like handouts that I have. I have checklists for things like this. And you'll get it right into your inbox, free, to help you grow and build your business. So cool. See you next week. Bye.